What are my biggest questions for the defending Super Bowl champions, the New England Patriots, going into the 2019 NFL season? Make sure to stay tuned to the video to find out. What's up, everybody? It's JTSPORTS back to you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my biggest questions for the New England Patriots, the defending Super Bowl champions, going into the 2019 NFL season. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm very close to my goal of 3,000 subscribers, so please help me reach my goal by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Upload NFL videos, NFL content daily. Also, make sure to follow me on my social media pages. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram page is JTSPORTS_. The link to my Instagram page is down in the description down below. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. My Twitter is the same thing as my Instagram username, JTSPORTS_. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. So, my biggest questions for the New England Patriots going into 2019. So, I think this New England Patriots team, in my opinion, is better than what it was last season. That's crazy because they lost two of their best players. They lost tight end Gronkowski to retirement, and they lost Trey Flowers in free agency. But I still think this New England Patriots team is better than what it was last season. First, they improved the wide receiving core. You bring in Demaryius Thomas. You got N'Keal Harry. I think that's a very big upgrade. I think this is probably the best receiving core that New England Patriots have had in some times. And then, also, at the tight end position, even though you lost Gronkowski, you still have Ben Watson, you still have a couple of guys there as well. So, I think this New England Patriots team is better than what it was last season. I didn't even get into the big part of why I think they're better than what they were last season. On the offensive line, Isaiah Wynn was drafted in the first round by the New England Patriots in the 2018 NFL Draft. He didn't even play a down last season. Now you get him back fully healthy. Then you had Yannick Kajust, who I think should be able to start or become a very solid starter for this New England Patriots team. And I think this offensive line is going to be probably one of the best offensive lines in all of football. Probably top 3 this season, because I think this offensive line is very, very underrated going into this NFL season. I think this New England Patriots offensive line might be the best New England Patriots offensive line we have seen in a long time. So my first question for the New England Patriots is the tight end position. Now, we know that tight end Ben Watson is suspended for the first few games of the season. Then they have Andrew Beck. Then they have Jacob Johnson. So it's going to be interesting to figure out the roles of them tight ends. What are they going to use those tight ends for? Are they going to be used more for blocking, or are they actually going to be a threat when it comes to catching passes? And then how are they going to utilize Ben Watson when he comes back? Now, Ben Watson, he's a little bit up there in age as well, so he's not dynamite in the sack when it comes to speed and getting all these big 60-yard receptions like a Gronkowski, but he should be able to give the New England Patriots a little bit of production there. But I just want to see how much production are we going to see out of this New England Patriots tight end core. That's one of my biggest questions for the New England Patriots going into 2019, because we know that Gronkowski was such a big part of the New England Patriots offense. So it's going to be interesting to figure out how the tight end position shapes up for the New England Patriots in 2019. My second question that I have for the New England Patriots is the halfbacks. How are they going to divvy up the carries with all these talented halfbacks that they have on the roster? They have Sony Michel, they have Rex Burkhead, they have James White, they have Damian Harris. Rex Burkhead and James White, they're utilized more in the receiving game. Rex Burkhead, he's using the receiving game when it comes to being near the red zone. I noticed that a lot. Every time the New England Patriots got in the red zone, they ended up putting in Rex Burkhead for receiving plays, and he ended up getting the ball when they got close to the goal line. I guess it's because he's a lot more bigger than what James White is. And James White, he's a little bit more elusive than what Rex Burkhead is. So these two backs are very good receiving backs. Then you have Sony Michel. Sony Michel is that power back. I had Sony Michel on my fantasy team last season, and he's not really that good of a pass catcher, which is why they always take him out on third down, and they always substituted him for a guy like a Rex Burkhead or a James White. Now, Damian Harris, he's a rookie out of Alabama. The New England Patriots drafted him in this year's draft. I was very, very surprised that they drafted him, considering all the depth that they already currently had on their halfback position before they drafted him. Now, he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. He's a big, powerful back, but he's also very good in the receiving game as well. He was very good catching passes at the backfield for Alabama as well. And I thought he was better than the other halfback who they had on their roster as well at Alabama. So I think this halfback position for the New England Patriots is going to be very interesting to watch. Very interesting to see how they have all these carries divided up between these players. Who's going to be the player that becomes the lead back. And it's going to be pretty interesting. So my third question for the New England Patriots is the wide receiver position. Is Josh Gordon going to return? Because if Josh Gordon returns, then this wide receiving core for this New England Patriots team is going to be very, very scary. You're going to have N'Keal Harry. You're going to have Demaryius Thomas. You're going to have Julian Edelman. Then you're going to have Josh Gordon if he's able to come back. So it's going to be very interesting. This wide receiving position for the New England Patriots is probably the best receiving core that the New England Patriots have had in a very, very long time. A lot of guys who can contribute. I think Demaryius Thomas always seems to be very solid when he ends up playing with a very good quarterback. We saw what he did with Peyton Manning. Now he's going to be playing with Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So I think Demaryius Thomas, we're going to end up seeing him have a resurgence. Now that he actually has a real quarterback in Tom Brady. And I think Demaryius Thomas could be a guy who ends up having about 900, maybe 1,000 receiving yards this season. I think Demaryius Thomas is going to have a resurgence. And also N'Keal Harry, I think he's going to be in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year just because I think he's going to have a big part of this New England Patriots offense. And rookie wide receivers, they normally start out pretty slow, but I think N'Keal Harry is a little bit of an exception from that just because you're probably playing with the best coaching staff in the NFL, Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. They're going to find ways to get N'Keal Harry the ball early on, and I think that's something that's going to benefit him because most rookie wide receivers over the last few seasons, most of them start out pretty slow. We saw guys like Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore. They started out pretty slow, but near the end of the season, they started coming on and had some pretty good performances. But I think N'Keal Harry is going to be a little bit different just because he has Tom Brady and he has Josh McDaniels. They're going to find ways to get this guy the ball. So, question number 4 is the pass rushers. Are the New England Patriots, are they finally going to be able to get very, very good pressure on the quarterbacks this year? Because last season they lost Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers was their leading pass rusher. Don't really know the number of sacks that he had. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I know he was the best pass rusher who they had on their team. So they traded for Michael Bennett in a trade with the Eagles. Michael Bennett, I think he's a guy who still has a little bit of juice left in the tank, even though he's a little bit up there in age and he started to slow down a little bit with Philadelphia. Still think that he has a lot left in the tank. And Bill Belichick, he's always a guy who's able to get the most out of everybody that he has on the defensive side of the ball. So I think we can see Michael Bennett having a pretty solid season for the New England Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing Michael Bennett have 7 or 8 sacks this season. I think Bill Belichick is going to be able to get a lot out of Michael Bennett. And I still think Michael Bennett still has a lot of juice left in the tank to contribute to this New England Patriots pass rushing core. They also got Chase Winovich out of Michigan. I think Chase Winovich was the best defensive player on that Michigan defense, better than Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary didn't really have a lot of production, but a lot of people can say that he was double teamed and stuff like that. But the pass rushing unit for the New England Patriots is going to be a very, very big question for me because the New England Patriots for the last couple of seasons, they never really get consistent pressure on the quarterback. And I think this season, looking at their roster, I still have doubts of how good they're going to be getting after the quarterback. So this is a very big question for me for the New England Patriots going into the 2019 season. So it's going to be interesting to see, can they get after these quarterbacks, especially having a very good secondary. Having a very good secondary is going to help them out a lot because since the secondary is so good, that gives the defensive linemen and defensive ends and those pass rushers a good opportunity to get into the quarterback as well because they're going to have a little bit more time to get after the passer. So the pass rushing unit for the New England Patriots is a big question for me, and how good and how consistent are they going to be? I think I think they could end up being a top 15 when it comes to getting to the quarterback and getting sacks, but it's just a big question of mine, especially since they lost the best pass rusher and Trey Flowers to the Detroit Lions in free agency. So this is very interesting. So this is my biggest question for the New England Patriots going into the 2019 NFL season. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.